Okay, this is a tutorial on this picture abstract Aspens. It was taken last week in Jackson Hole. I was up with Aaron Baggenstows from Aaron's Tours. We had a great tour, great fall color. Unfortunately, we were put out of both parks, Yellowstone and Grand Tetons, but we were able to get some amazing pictures around Jackson Hole. We were with Janie and Patrick from New Zealand, and we had a great time. I would highly recommend Aaron's Tours if you haven't ever been on one or if you like wildlife or nature photography. So this is a photograph including two images. This is the blurred image, uh, and this was the original image. On the blurred image, I took about 30th or 50th second exposure, and I panned up and down. So what I want to do is I want to drag this blurred image on top of the in focus image, and I'm going to select it and drag it on top of the image. And once I do that, I'm going to place it. This one was actually pretty good composure. I didn't have to move it around because I took them both together and knew what I wanted to do. But you can adjust the opacity here to get your composition to know if you're gonna have to move it. So once you do that, I'm going to select the eraser tool on a soft brush, about 65% opacity and flow, and I'm going to start taking out anywhere where there is detail in the trees, on the trunks of these trees, the dark areas, the branches. I'm going to start taking that out. Once I do that, I'm going to start taking out some of the foreground. I don't want to take out much, but I want to take out some of the foreground, enough to show some of the leaves and brush and detail on the ground. It's going to give it a little bit more depth. Then I'm going to go back to the trees, and I'm going to start looking at the branches and the foreground of the actual image around the trees. The leaves, the branches. I'm going to start taking those out because I want to give detail in those areas. Still going to leave quite a bit of the blurred image, but I'm going to give quite a bit of detail up here around these trees and in the foreground. So I'm going to do that throughout the image. You can adjust your brush to different widths to cover branches depending on how detailed you want to get. Then after that, you're going to bring your opacity back up on your top layer, and you're going to adjust it. I use Nix software. I use Color Effects Pro, and you can adjust your color and vibrancy and contrast and such. And this is what I ended up coming up with. Brought a little bit more color into it. It gives more depth and more texture, and I think it gives a little bit more artistic value to the photograph. So this is what I did. This is how I did it, and maybe you can use this tutorial to do something similar.